on my work, and I just had a really, you know, up and down attitude throughout the first semester that I thought that really put me into a really large setback that I couldn't avoid it. And a lot of fears I struggled with was what I wanted to do when I grew up, or what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go to college, or how I would do the SAT. So a lot of things were scaring me, which made me have these thoughts, and it really affected the next class most, which was math, with Miss Strong. And having Miss Strong in 6th grade, I knew who she was and I knew how she taught, but I think the biggest thing I learned in this class was communication skills. That may seem like another very trivial thing. At High Tech High, I seen that we talk a lot, but for me it was really hard, especially because math wasn't my best subject, to come and tell her about how I'm doing or to seek help because I kind of didn't want to rely on other people. So this example is an email that I sent her in May about just to check on how I was falling behind and how I wanted to get extra help, and she was really considerate. And you know, a lot of these conversations happened through the year where we would set up times for me to get help. So I think the private conversations and extra help really pushed me in this class. And I think it helped in the second semester because in the first semester our class was really disrespectful to each other and to Ms. Strong. And there's no type of communication or teamwork. And I was kind of part of that. So I felt that this semester, improving from that semester really helped me, and that was all through communicating with Ms. Strong. So now I'm ending this year with a really good relationship with her, and a really good relationship with all my teachers, but I think that these talks and extra help is what really pushed me. So the next class is chemistry, and coming into chemistry, I didn't know anything about chemistry, but having Brian in physics, I was excited because Brian and Andrew are really close. I partnered with Vivian, which kind of pushed me outside my comfort zone because I didn't know who Vivian was, but she's a really great, funny girl, and she really takes credit on a lot of her work, and so do I, but I've always met the expectation, and a lot of times in classes I'm not comfortable with, I can't really push that ground and create a new expectation for myself that our teachers are always asking for. So with the rocket project, I really felt that I did that, so that's the growth point I like to focus on, is producing beautiful work that I'm really proud of even to this day. And going from bottle rockets to chemical rockets, people were doing the generic designs of like the cylinder rockets with like the 3 fins. But when we went to our chemical rockets, we wanted to push outside the box and we wanted to do something that no one else was doing, which was the triangular prism rocket, which everyone said it wasn't going to work, and it did work. It's just that's when it ended, it fell on the ground. There was obviously minor complications with our parachute, but everyone had 1 or 2 little points, but I was still really proud of it, and I think that producing beautiful work that exceeds expectations has really helped me grow and help my confidence boost in classes I'm not so comfortable with. And I think that from doing this project coming into second semester, I thought of all my projects and assignments and really thought you need to push the expectation, push the boundaries to get to a new level of understanding. And the last class I'll be talking about is humanities. And I love humanities. I love to read and write. So I've never really struggled with it that much as other classes, and I was really comfortable with maths class, and math's a really great teacher. So I was fine with humanities. I had no concerns. But we did lots of seminars and democracy now and class discussions, which I love because I like to talk a lot and be really social and into it. But what I learned was that if I push too much and just give too much of my opinion, the whole class can't grow, and neither can I. And so the main focus point I'm going to be talking about is leadership. So for me, leadership it's simple. It doesn't have a lot of thought to it. I'm kind of born into the leadership role that's kind of like runs in my family. So being a leader was never a problem to me, but I learned through maths class and having conversations with them too that a leader doesn't always have to micromanage the conversation or to over-input their opinion. Sometimes the leader can take a step back and observe the class environment and analyze what's going on and to help from there. And that was a really hard thing for me to do because I'm a really controlling person. So to give up that kind of spotlight role in these class discussions was really hard for me. So this is one of the texts that we did for our seminars, and I highlight a lot and have a lot of notes. And I remember this class discussion because that was the one where I kind of changed how I contributed. So I created tally marks on our seminar sheets to see how much I talked, and I organized my thoughts into, I don't know if you can say it, but at the bottom of three or four really main points I wanted to talk do that too, not hearing Taylor talk. So I mean, I really grew in that, and I think that humanities class and this growth point of leadership impacted my life like no other, because it related to my martial arts, which is for me like a lifestyle. And so when I go into the dojo now, I'm a leader there too, but now I know a different way to take on that role of leadership is to sometimes taking a step back and letting people do what they already know how to do. So what I noticed with this change was a whole different attitude change. I would say a lot nicer, and that might be weird, but I became nicer and more understanding, and helped me listen better to what people were saying, which I struggled with a lot, whether it was peers or teachers. And so I was really proud and really grateful that I learned this from Matt, and that he spent lots and lots of time helping me cultivate this skill. But I think that this is a skill that I can take on for the rest of my life.